I'm all about locking arms with people that I find kinships with for the things that I'm most passionate about. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So when, hold on, my bad, because I feel like I'm yelling. Let me put my, let me get right. What? Not that noise. Oh man, not that noise. That's crazy. That's a weird, yo. That's the most disappointing noise ever when you put your earbuds in and it does a do 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 do, like get out of here. You finished.
Not today, homie.
But no, like when I find people, like even when I find people that like have a passion for like mentoring teens like that, like then you know what I'm saying, that's another thing I'm passionate about.
Right.
But then if I find somebody who's like passionate about both, that's what I was like, I gotta have a conversation. I have to.
Respect.
And to be honest with you, I don't even know how I stumbled upon your page for real. I just know that when I saw, I probably hit like 50 countdown, hip hop 50, because it was around that time when you were doing
countdown. And that's why I was trying to get in the mix around that time, because I know they're gonna be looking for those. You know what I mean?
You know what's crazy? That was my plan too. I'm not even gonna hold you. I started Pen Game 7 like around that time. I'm like, yo, now would be a good time to really start talking about rap. Yo,
I'm gonna tell you how it all came together, because I actually had started it back in like the spring of the year.
Right.
But the production of the situation kind of got funky around summertime, so I had to put it on hold. And I missed the August, because I was set to have it, count down on the August 11th date.
Right.
But the summertime got jammed up for me, and I wasn't able to produce the shows regularly like I was in the spring and the winter. So I was like, damn, how I'm gonna, I already started, I already committed to it, I already put my neck out there.
Yeah.
I gotta finish this somehow. So then I was like, okay, well, what if I do 50 days, 50 years and 50 days? That's how it came to. I was like, 50 years and 50 days, countdown, top 50 MCs all the way. So I had to count out from when New Year's Eve is 50 days back from that, and that was, I think, November 12th.
Right.
And that's my wedding anniversary at the same time. Dope. So that was easy to remember. You know what I mean? So it was like, yeah, baby, I love you, but I hope I gotta post this shit real quick. But part of my language, I don't know how the language goes. Barry's going to show me.
Here's the thing, for me, like I may not personally use that language, but I don't get at people who do. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Listen, bro, I can keep it clean. I can keep it clean like a washing machine.
I want you, don't ever do that again.
I'm not compromising. I'm just letting you know.
No, I mean, don't ever rhyme clean and washing machine to me ever again. You're better than that. You're better. I know you are. I know you rap for real. You're better than.
No, I used to. I don't do that. Now I see that. That's a bar. That's a bar from De La Soul. My man, True Boy.
I love De La, bro.
Wait, that line sticks with me forever. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna throw it off the glass to myself.
That's
it. I'm gonna go introducing Sabe James. Let me explain something to y'all. When I find somebody who speaks the same hip hop language as me, who is able to have objective conversations about hip hop and not be so bang his head against the wall against what was versus what is, like somebody who has a flexible mindset about the thing that I'm passionate about too. Right. I knew I had to have a conversation. I stumbled across his content. I was on just looking up hip hop content that I wanted to basically siphon off of. I need ideas when I was like, are other people talking about this? Up came you. I'm like, must be a bald black dude beard thing who want to talk about rap, because
I wish I called you, but I gotta clean it off.
So when I saw you, I was like, I have to extend myself. I have to. So thank you for hitting back.
Respect.
One and only. Sabe James.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining me today, big dog. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you having me on the platform, bro. Like it speaks, volumes to your character in this day and age to actually extend the olive branch when everybody's in such competition with the next person trying to one up. You know what I'm saying? And so, I mean, I'm glad to see that there are more people of that ilk that are willing to kind of, not challenge, but have healthy jousting of ideas. You know what I mean? So
but here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. I have a personal vendetta against social media in the aspect of it was originally for us, normal workaday people who just wanted to share our lives with people, and whoever digs it could dig it, whoever don't. Celebrities who are so attention hungry, which is crazy because they're already some wealthy. So you would think like the attention, they crave it so much. And corporate and industry saw it so much that like they started advertising movies through there. So now celebrities have Instagram. So it's like we're following celebrities. I'm gonna be truthful. I don't follow not one celebrity on Instagram. Not one. You will not earn my eyes because I didn't do this for y'all. I did this for us, for people like us. So when I find somebody like me, I'm like, ooh, he want to win too. Hey, yo, you wanna win at from the ground level or where you at, and then I'll do it where I'm at. But then we could join up, and then we could let's do that.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Let's wish each other happy birthday instead of Jay-Z. He don't know me.
And and that'd be so crazy if you. I be scrolling through the days, fam. I mean, all of these stars, Rihanna, Beyonce, Jay, Usher, Bruno, all these cats, you wish these cats happy birthday. They ain't checking for y'all posts, fam. Like, they're not checking for you. I mean, listen, I get the gesture, and that speaks more to your point of like, why not we uplift folks that we can actually know we're engaging with. You know what I mean? That blows my mind.
Like, I can know you. You can know me.
Exactly.
In a brief 2-part interaction, you know I have a daughter. I know you have a daughter and a son.
Right.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Denominators, bro, like attracts like, man. That's just the energetic flow of things. That's how this design on this planet is, you know what I'm saying? Just the way things are, man. When you put out good intent, good ideas or whatever like that, you align with others that share the same intent, same goals. And in some way, shape, or form, the paths are going to cross. Now, it's all about if we're in the space to allow these things to happen and to kind of, it may not be packaged the way you normally would expect the path to cross, but you never know. You know what I'm saying?
Well, speaking of that, this next question is very important because I wanted to know this off rip. Where are you from?
Mount Vernon.
I knew because so check it out. You said Rockland County. I said, all right, I put a pin in
Westchester County, bro. Westchester County, man. Now
no. Listen. When you said Rockland County, that's near me. I'm in North Jersey. So when you said Rockland County, I'm like, if he's traveling to Rockland County, then
that's where I was at. Yeah, I'm in that area.
He's uptown or outside of uptown.
Yeah.
So that's why I asked that. I was like, I hear a little Bronxish in there. I was like, I hear the Bronxish.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you, my family's from Brooklyn. My mom's the only one that left and came uptown or whatever. So she was in the Bronx first, Eastchester, and then she moved up to Mount Vernon when I was a baby. You know what I'm saying? So I was basically born and raised. So I'm never gonna disclaim Mount Vernon. I'm from Mount Vernon. My family from BK. So that's where I was at. When I wasn't in Vernon, I would walk to 241st and hop on the 2, took an hour and a half ride down to Sterling Ave. Got up on Notion and Sterling and walked to my cousin's crib on Rogers. You know what I'm saying? So I was outside.
You from your people's from Crown Heights?
On Southern between Bedford and Rogers.
So check this out. I grew up on Montgomery between Nostrand and.
Yeah, you was right around the corner.
Now check this out. That's not where I'm from. That's where my cousin is from. My cousin, shout out to ING, shout out to JJ, shout out to JB, shout out to all that over there. That's where they from. But I spent all my summers over there, and I spent all my summers down in Brownsville houses on Dumont and Rockaway.
Yo, my family's from Brownsville houses on Rockaway and Livonia.
I lived up the hill on Atlantic and Rockaway and Atlantic Towers.
Okay.
So that's the 3 point. Yeah, that's the triangle right there.
Okay, all right, yeah. I got fam right there in Brownsville houses and fam right there in Tilden, Livonia, Rockaway. I hated taking that ride, get off on Rockaway Parkway though, bro. That was whew. I didn't like that.
It was in those days though.
Yeah, in the 90s, yeah, that wasn't for strangers out there.
Listen, I tell people I love when somebody of my cloth and know that exactly what I'm talking about. Because when I tell kids that, they act like I'm gassing it. I don't want to make our lifestyle sound any more dangerous than it was. That's not how I'm gonna earn stripes with you.
That was the earnest stripes ever. Was the earnest stripes ever in the mid-90s. That was the earnest stripes ever for whatever walk of life it was. Everybody was earning stripes in the 90s because that was what the culture was, I guess, letting people in on what was going on outside. And that became infectious. But yeah, that was the earnest stripes ever. And that's what I tell my son. I'm like, yo, I dressed like I was from uptown because I went shopping on Fordham, 125th Street, even went down Century 21, down South Street Seaport a lot of times. Those were my go-to runs. But I knew when I went to Brooklyn, I had to dress up in my Champion, my Tommy Hill, and my Timbs. I had to wear that out there, so I had to blend in. You know what I'm saying?
The Tommy Hilfiger rugbies. The
No,
Tommy
if I went out there with some Gore-Tex and a Columbia, they're gonna know it's food. He is not from around here. You know what I mean? So you had to change. You had to switch code. You had to know how to switch code out there.
This is where I say, for us, this is where we have to give the younger generation some grace, because and I know you've done this. I don't even have to ask if you did it. We give our children a softer life so that they don't have to go through, because it can still happen that way. Like, kids are still into that. Like, you know what I'm saying? But we wanted to provide a softer lives, like, for our children, so that they didn't. There's a lot of scars and stuff that come with that.
A lot of PTSD, bro. A lot of PTSD from that time, man.
And I wouldn't want that for them in the least bit.
Not at all. Not at all. Now,
but
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Just to kind of point us in the right direction. Man, I have such a better question now that I'm gonna ask it like this. I like this question better than the one I was gonna ask. Give me your relationship with hip hop from the beginning. However you want to answer that. I just wanted to lay it on the table that way. Just pick it up and do what you want with it.
So all right, so 78. I'm 78, baby, right? So
shut up.
No, I'm dead at 78.
1978. But go ahead though.
Yeah, I'm a Scorpio, November 6th, 1978. That's what it is.
Gemini, June 12th.
Okay. All right. So
that's where we at. Go ahead, brother.
All right. So 78. So you probably heard this before. You know what I'm saying? You probably heard this before. But now my dad was heavy into music. My dad's from Philly, and he was heavy into music and LPs, and we had mad vinyls around the crib. So he bought me my first, like, Fisher Price, my first record player. And I would be going, I break mines because they only sound like one or two of those hard plastic joints that really don't sound like nothing. But the needle actually worked. So I would go get his records. I remember playing the Four Tops, the I'll Be There, because I like the horses. I like the horses sound effect. So I used to play that part back over and over until I got screamed at. But then after that, he started buying me my own records. So my first 12-inch vinyls that I had was a Chuck Chillout's Breakbeats record, a Chuck Chillout's Breakbeats record, Curtis Blow's joint with basketball, and where he was laying on the cover like this. You know what I'm saying? Where it was that record. He had bought me that joint, and it was one other joint. I forget, but I remember the Chuck Chillout Breakbeats record. And a lot of people don't know WBLS 107.5. Chuck Chillout had the Saturday nights when Red Alert had 98.7. You know what I'm saying?
I'm well aware, bro.
So you know what I'm saying? So
it's my turn. I'll break it.
You know the pattern. You know the pattern I speak of.
Yeah.
So from that point, I was listening to it from there. But then it all changed when he got me the Run DMC album. The very first Run DMC album was Suck MCs on there. They in there playing Ashford and Simpson, you know what I'm saying, Barry White and all the stuff like that. They said, "Say, what song you want to hear?" I'm like, So I whispered to my dad. He laughed, like, he want to hear Sucker MCs, Run DMC. He was like, "No, I don't want to hear that." But then ever since then, the spark, the fuse was lit. And then after that, he bought me the LL Cool J's Bad. I Need Love on there. You know what I'm saying? And then after that point, I was starting to hustle up my little ends, you know, helping old ladies with bags from the grocery store, you know what I'm saying, doing stuff around town, going to the store for the OGs, keeping the change. And I get my little money for the tapes when I go down to the Ave in Mount Vernon, get my tapes. And from there, that was it. And it was just, it encapsulated just who I became. And the thing about it was that regardless of what I saw outside, and what, used to go on in the block and in the neighborhood and everything like that, my mom's kept me in school. Like, she was a principal in Harlem. So I had no choice but to excel in school. Feel me? So I'm like in the accelerated classes all through elementary and junior high. Time I get to high school, I'm done with all my regions by like 11th grade. My schedule was down to 4 classes in senior year, because I knocked out all of the work early. I graduated 65 out of 500 in Mount Vernon High School, class of 96. You know what I'm saying? But I was outside all the time because she wouldn't let me get a job. She wouldn't let me play sports. And so I had nothing to do but go outside. and engage in that and get on the train, go ahead, go see my cousin in Parkchester. Go see the shorty I met through my cousin Parkchester in Washington Heights. You know what I'm saying? I had nothing to do but to explore and just be outside.
Yep.
My boys want to stay in the building. And through all those travels, I had a simple survival kit. My JanSport, my Walkman, about 4 or 5, like I say, 4 or 5 mixtape, had a couple Clue, some SNS.
SNS word.
And maybe a Ron G.
Ron
into the twilight of the mid-90s, because Ron G kind of faded out early 90s or whatever. Like
especially if you're talking travel era, if you're talking like fresh new on the train, like 10 through 12 travel era. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
That was a Bible kid. Then you had your 1 or 2 full tapes. You know what I'm saying? Your 36 Chambers or your What the album. You had one of those 2 if you knew you was once you get on the train, you on there for an hour. You know what I'm saying? A slice of pizza and a Snapple. That was my survival kit. With those elements, I was able to navigate and maneuver in the hip hop state of mind. I'm in New York state of mind everywhere I go. So when New York state of mind dropped in '94, I'm only what, 16?
16.
But that was like, yo, all this shit. All this stuff we talking.
Curse.
All right, my bad, bro. I'm just like I said. I don't. All this shit kind of like it just all culminated during that mid-90s, and it was just like this is the fabric of, you know, and the thing about it, bro, we don't realize how the mid-90s shaped culture from that point forward. Culture right now is a direct product, not even a byproduct.
Yeah, no, direct.
It is a direct product of what we were a part of in the mid-90s. Hands down. And understanding that we're authentic articles of that, you know, you kind of thrive in that. You know what I'm saying?
And I have a tendency to take it personal when people mishandle discussions about hip hop.
Facts.
Like it's like if I let you hang out with my child, don't be
what we talking about. I'm talking about SB.
Right. Like and people don't understand that.
Right.
So let me and the first part of our stories are exactly the same, only the music ranged from, and I'm gonna assume this because this is how music was back then. Your parents probably listened to a lot of non-black music too.
Well, the only non-black, not really. Like I said, we had elements of it. Like I listened to some of the Spanish stuff here and there because my mom worked in Harlem. She was around Spanish influence or whatever, so that kind of bled over into the situation. But I mean, it was really kind of like nuts and bolts black culture in the crib. You know what I'm saying? Like
the crib, my mom always wanted me, because my mom always wanted me to understand other cultures. So she had me listening to Tito Santana. Okay. She had me listening to Kiss. She had me listening to the Bangles. She had me listening to Jim Croce, James Taylor. Like, so
Peter Gabriel,
Simon and Garfunkel. Like, I'm first.
Okay.
Like, so when people start talking fly to me about music, I kind of take it personal. I'm like, you don't even understand the depth of what I'm talking about. Like what song sampled what song. You don't even know the song that was sampled.
Huge samples. I mean, huge samples.
Like, you don't even understand that. Like, so like when people start talking to me about that kind of stuff, it's like, you know, like if you're not willing to have that kind of hip hop conversation with me, I know you're not ready to deep dive about the real stuff. You feel what I'm saying? So even with that, speaking of deep diving about conversations, oh no, hold on. Because it would be unfair for me to not share my hip hop story with you.
Talk to me.
So I'm gonna highlight it like this. Grew up in Flatbush. During that time, heavy into the dance culture. Super Running Man, Bobby Brown, Kid and Play.
All of that.
Kwame.
Was you able to jump over the leg? Was you able to jump over the leg?
Frontwards and backwards. So much so that Chubb Rock's mom owned a club on Flatbush Avenue in Ditmas.
Nice.
And he was auditioning dancers for the Just the Two of Us video.
Yeah.
So I went over there.
Okay.
And I couldn't find my sneakers. So I had to wear my dad's shoes. At the time, my dad was a size 12 and a half on that shoe. I was barely a size 10.
Right.
So I had to do all my dance moves in shoes that were too big.
Wow.
Still like nailing them or whatever. I didn't quite make the video. I'm cool with it, but just the fact that I have that story to tell.
Yeah, right.
Around that time, my parents split up. also that's when around the time where I started hanging around like a lot of the older dudes on the corner. Like I was that kid that I was with them. I did not talk. I talked once, got kicked off the porch. They let me back in because they put me on punishment for like a week. I was sad, saddest week of my life. Then I went back on the stoop with them. Then I started noticing my man TKO, shout out to him, Track Killer Omar. Like he's the one, he started like having me lean into rap to express myself. Right. Fu Schnickens used to come around, Mock and Pac Fu. Mock and Pac Fu taught me how to rap, like literally.
Nice.
I asked them, like, yo, what do you rap about? They told me something that I never strayed away from. Only rap about what you know.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I didn't quite understand the depth of that until fast forward to I'm 16 now, moving around the city with my cousins and my brother. We see a freestyle battle on like 43rd. Mm-hmm. So I step into it. This one kid is rapping. This is, so I'm talking about, I'm 16, 94, 95-ish.
Right.
This is the Mace is talking his fly talk, everybody's jewels and baguettes and all this, right? Not me, because I ain't had them things. So I'm not going. So this kid, unfortunately, he was from the Bronx. I hate to say that because like that's the Mecca. And I hate to say that being from Brooklyn. I usually claim it, but I'm gonna give it up for the Bronx today.
You gotta give it up for the Bronx.
But for historical purposes, I'm gonna give it up for them today. So he's like, now he had on a dusty champion hoodie. It wasn't even like it was crisp. If it was a crispy champion hoodie, he might have got away with it. It was a dusty champion hoodie, and he was like, the jewels and the floss and the Lexus, right? He's done rapping. Now, I'm gonna do like a time jump and then a rewind. You remember the kid Brett from the I Got Love remix with Fab and Nate Dogg?
Yes, vaguely, but yes, I remember when you said Fab and Nate Dogg. Yes, vaguely.
Rewind to that dude who I didn't know who he was until I saw that remix. That dude steps into the cipher and says some, and slaps the kid and walks off. The kid just stayed slapped. From that moment forward, me and my brother was like, yo, remember that time homeboy got rap slapped in the cipher? Shout out to him though.
Shout out to the Bronx though, right?
Shout out to him. I hope he's working with kids. Like I hope he's helping them learn good lessons.
Wow.
Shout out to my man A Double right there. Wu-Tang, big Wu-Tang head. So much so that he has it tatted on his arm.
Look at this, man. Then I'm nice say go on limb. I say they're the greatest group to do it, man. I say they're the greatest group to do it. It's conversation.
But that's unfair though, because they're the only group of that magnitude to do it. We can't even encroach that art.
Therefore, by default,
we could jump into whatever you're trying to jump into.
If that's your standard, that you can't judge them because they've never done that before. By default, that makes them the greatest to do it. By default, by your standards, you said it, not me. I'm just agreeing with you.
Yo, you sound like.
You said it, not me.
Nah, you're right. Okay, but hold on. Okay, so if we're not doing that, who are we comparing them to?
Okay, so all right, we're trying to stay disciplined to your guidelines. I know we don't want to go there, but I guess to just sum it all up in one sentence, I'll say my top 5 greatest groups would have to be obviously Wu-Tang, Outkast, in no particular order. Wu-Tang, Outkast, Tribe Called Quest, EPMD, De La Soul, and NWA. Tied.
No, pick one. I'm not. No, you're grown.
You're grown. Bro, you know how hard that is.
Sabe, I respect you as a grown black man with children. You can make a decision, brother. You're gonna have to pick one. I'm sorry. I took a stance against Mike and picked Kobe as my GOAT years ago, and I stand in that. But I don't want to deviate. I'm just letting you know how deep I go. So I'm not asking you to do nothing I haven't done. I kicked Jay-Z off my top 5 list because I don't feel like he's done enough recently to just take up occupancy there. So when I tell you, I stand on this hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
I'm not asking you to do nothing I won't do.
All right. So I have to go with NWA for historical purposes only. I'd have to go with them. Out of them, they'll round up the top 5. Now the order, like I said, could be debatable, but I have to go with NWA just for historical value.
Okay, so we're doing that with groups. If we're doing that with groups, then I'm fine because again, I didn't know if you were going to allow for, because now think about this, and I don't even know if you did this intentionally or if that's just the way that it is. Every group you mentioned has like a sub faction or is part of a sub faction.
Mm-hmm.
You got Dungeon Family,
mm-hmm.
Death Squad or Hit Squad, depending on where you go. Jungle Brothers,
Native Tongue,
Native Tongue, right? Native Tongue. And Wu-Tang is a huge body that within is Killer Bees and Sons of Man and all this other stuff and Grave. I was gonna say Grave Diggers, but I don't know if I don't know if they encompass Wu-Tang. You know what I mean? Like, because
only reason why I can have a consideration is because it had RZA production, so the sound was still there. It wasn't the content,
right?
But if you was doing a Wu-Tang mix for all the affiliates, Grave Diggers will find its way in there because it had the RZA influence on it somewhere.
Now, I'm glad you said something about production, because about a week ago I did a top 5 producers, right? And RZA wasn't on there, and I'm gonna explain to you why. There's a lot of things. No. I'm sorry.
RZA was not on the top.
Did I say something to you that you were unfamiliar with? Do you want to? So
RZA's about to burst through my Wu-Tang symbol on the joint.
Fine. You might as well just pick. I know your book bag right there on the floor, right next to you.
No, south in the living room. It's in the living room. Close. It's close by, but it's not right here. It's close though. It's close.
Okay, so listen. Let me let you know also what I'm enjoying. Yeah. I'm enjoying the sides of hip hop you and I Venn diagram in and out of right now, because I clearly just drew a line for you.
Sure did.
So let me tell you the 5, and I'm going to start from the 5 because it wasn't in order, if I remember correctly. My 5th one was Justin Blaze. My fourth one was Timbo. No, my 4th one was Pharrell. My 3rd one was Timbo. My 2nd one was Swiss.
Go ahead.
Am I lying to myself? Hold on. Tim, Swiss, Pharrell, Just. It wasn't Dr. Dre. I know that for a fact. Who was it, bro? Hold on.
It wasn't Primo?
No. Okay, so let me preface what I'm saying with, and
what's your rating rubric? What's your standards with baseball?
This is where I'm at. I personally rap a certain way.
Okay.
So I just want to off rip my ear for production is really different. So the fact that RZA isn't on there doesn't mean I don't think RZA's production isn't elite. His process is probably, if we're talking like production process and like nuance, he trumps a lot of the guys on that list, if not comes first. Because if I'm being very honest, Dr. Dre's, he's very basic. If you really like, if you listen to Dr. Dre beat, you'll get a dun 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 dun, right? So that's the heartbeat of the beat. Then you'll get some sort of string instrument or intricate instrument that he so he'll do that, and then he'll in the back of the beat where you barely hear it, he'll do like a nutshell thing, like and then he'll put all that together.
I look for those little
right. So in saying that, RZA is a nuanced elite producer. There are some of his beats where I'm like, not for me, but then there's some beats where it's like, ooh, I wish I could freestyle off of that right now. You feel what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. So whenever I say anything about somebody who I know to be elite, I always want to preface it with, it's not my preference. I'll tell you something else that I'm going to do to kick the hornet's nest, then I'm going to stop talking so it's your turn. I don't have Nas in my top 12. He's at 13, unlucky number 13. Now, I'm petty, and I still am upset over Ether. I see the carry the 1 because you didn't carry the 1. I see you doing math, right? There it is.
Ether. Yeah, no. You finished with Ether. Finish your point. Finish your point with Ether.
I stopped. You're not going to do that. And listen, you know what that's like to me? And if this lands, I promise you.
Yeah, I just want you to finish your point.
I'm going to.
All right.
But sir, I draw things out. We're just meeting each other. If Avery's still watching, he'll tell you I draw things out. My daughter's here. I draw things out. Now, I can't let Ether put Nas in a place that Loaded Lux's third round put him in battle rap.
Okay. Now, for you to bring Loaded Lux into the same conversation with Ether and Nas, I'm already kind of understanding the path of thought where you come from. There's no, and it's not a knock. It's not a knock. I'm listening to your words. You know, my wife has been on my ass about listening to her words better than reacting to what I thought she said. So you just you a second ago, you just said that just because they're elite doesn't mean that I'm not going to Nas the eliteness, but it's just not my cup of tea.
You didn't let me finish my Nas point, by the way.
You won't. I gave it. I asked you to.
No, because you stopped and you said the fact that you landed on Loaded Lux and you compared the two tells me your path of thought.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, as a staunch Hove supporter, if there's no Illmatic, there's no reasonable doubt.
Yeah, we know this.
If that don't
we know this, man. Nas raised the bar so high with Illmatic, man.
Wait, before we go any further, yes, Kanye. Before we go any further, I'm gonna ask you a question that has to do with what you just did to me. When you're right with your wife, do you say, "See, I told you I was right"? Do you do that?
Some reflexively, and I got to get better at catching myself.
Because you just did that to me, and I'm gonna let you know, as a man who doesn't do that, that stands out like a sore thumb. So, if we truly become friends after this, iron sharpens iron. I know you possess a quality that I then will in turn become a better man from.
No,
don't do the "I told you I was right." When I said,
what?
See, nigga, I told you.
Listen, I'm just saying.
Tell me that niggas don't know.
Yo, you walked into it. What am I supposed to do?
No, I didn't, because you didn't even. First of all, I prefaced what I said with I'm a staunch Hove supporter. So the fact that you didn't go, you know what, I'm gonna give this man some grace because he about to say something that's real. You didn't do that. You said, come on, say it. I was like, yo, I have to get better at that.
I have to get better at that. I'm my bad. Please, by all means.
Hold on. I'm gonna ask you. Side note, I'm a psychology guy. Which sibling are you?
Huh?
Which sibling are you?
I'm the baby. I only got an older sister.
I don't know. I don't like your attitude already. I'm the oldest. So now we're really
No back down, bro. Like I do my best not to back down. So it's instinctive. It's innate.
He's like, brother, I said there was PTSD. Let me explain my childhood. I'm the youngest. They used to bully me. I had to agree to things I never wanted to do. I understand what it's like being the youngest, bro. I do. But let me wrap my Nas point up.
Yeah.
And then move on to my producer point, and then I'm gonna toss it back to you. So check it out. Without Illmatic, nobody jumps into that lane, because if you remember, Nas is such a linchpin of hip hop that if I say I'm a hip hop historian, and I say it because I was steeped in it. Hip hop people who've done hip hop raised me in hip hop. You feel what I'm saying? Like I'm a child of it. So the fact that Nas came and said, we're not doing that anymore. We're not doing hibbity bibbity ribbity. We're not doing it. Put it away. We rock this funky joint. Hey, poor righteous teachers, and change your clothes. We're not doing that anymore either. It's puff jackets, Timbs, and baggy jeans right now. See my half moon part? Yeah. That's what rap is right now. Yes. Hey, look at Cool G Rap. He already doing it. Like that's who Nas is. Yeah. No Nas, no Raekwon. No Cool G Rap, no Raekwon. There's a tree. Listen, brother, I'm going.
Okay, and which one is G Rap? Now, which one is G Rap and Raekwon?
I'm only talking half moon part. But in furthering it, so once Nas came, everybody was like, hold on for a second. This is where it's going, because his influence was immediate. Nas came out, then all of these other people who thought they could rap too had the Nas aesthetic, but they didn't have it yet. Hov sat back, picked it apart, put it back together, stepped out as Reasonable Doubt, which is listen, it's number one on my, no, it's in my top 5, along with Illmatic, right? But I give Illmatic its props that it did what it did for it. Go.
All right, so a couple things.
Go.
The Nas Raekwon thing, I can't fully go with you on that because Raekwon technically did debut before Nas in '93 with the whole Wu-Tang 36 Chambers. Nas album came out in '94. So influence after that, as far as how he rhymed and what he rhymed about after '94, I can give that to you. But I can't technically say that was where he looked up to and got his style.
I don't even want to say look up to. I'm gonna say probably.
When you said, I'm only looking at it how you said no Nas, no Raekwon. Raekwon was out first.
Right.
So that style wise, the style of evolution, I'll give you that.
Let me clear that up.
Mm-hmm.
When because it was so close, bro. I understand what you're saying, but it was so close because by the time we saw Nas had been moving around 2 to 3.
He already been moving. We already been running since '91.
But because of Raekwon's past, him too. Mm-hmm. He was moving around years before.
We didn't hear Ray's album on this side of the bridge though. That shit stayed out in Staten Island for the most part. I don't. Like I said, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if any of his stuff made it to mixtapes in Brooklyn, but they ain't make it uptown.
I mean, a behind the scenes aspect. I mean, Nas and Raekwon were probably running in the same street circles at some point. Because, but that's what that's what I'm saying. The part that isn't visible to the public eye, not like. So if I see, let's say we never met, right, or nobody knows we met, but I meet you. Nobody knows we met. I meet you. Then when we hop on this live, I have a Negus hat.
Okay, that
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. I pulled that one right out the air. I mean, the fact that I nailed it is a.
That was kudos, excellent. That's
right.
That's great content right
no more.
Cut that shit out and post that. You know what I mean? Alone, just that segment right, just that piece right there. Cut all this shit out. All this extra stuff I'm talking. Post that joke with the Negus hat and make people go do research on what Negus really means. You know what I'm saying? No, that's great. This is great. This is great media right here. This shit is good. This shit is gold. But yeah, so after that, okay, so and again, I get the Coogee rap reference because he's the godfather of East Coast mafioso gangster rap.
He don't get it. His name ain't mentioned enough, big dog.
Not mentioned enough. And if you check my my countdown, how I had to give it up for G rap because I made mention of it initially. My top 50 was based off of sonically accepted music. Okay, so what can I play anywhere at any time, and who are the best at doing that while still keeping it hip hop?
Please stop right there, right, and take that same energy and answer this question for me, so we can go in this direction because I value your opinion already. Mm-hmm. Let me state that as a fact. I value your opinion.
And yours likewise.
With everything you just said, shout out to my man Michael Peoples. I don't ignore my guys. That's my dude right there. What makes a classic album to you? And can a classic album have skips? You can answer that however you want. Because I don't want it to be leading. I just like those two questions answered because I have this discussion. Well, I don't even want to call them discussions because nobody listens to me when I say anything about this. But
so I think psychology guy, right? I think it goes into the psychology of how you're listening or what you're listening for in the music. Okay, so an overall classic, albums typically were around 13, 15 tracks on average, outside of skits and intros and outros and shit like that, right?
Right.
So overall, albums were around 12 to 15 tracks. I say if about 70% of those tracks have a level of playback and a conversation where somebody randomly who listens to that album too may say, "Oh, this is my favorite song," and maybe not your top favorite song, but it's one of the joints you still listen to. Like for instance, on Reasonable Doubt, if somebody said "Feeling It" was their favorite song, you wouldn't be mad at that, but what you call it, Cashmere Thoughts may be your favorite joint on it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're
Right.
not mad at Feeling It because at some point you was banging that song, just that song.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, Cashmere Thoughts may not be somebody else's favorite, but they can understand why that's your favorite too.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So there's a certain level of that common denominators of the track list of songs that you can universally be accepted no matter who listened to it or whatever walk of life.
Mm.
So out of those 12, 13, 14 tracks, 7, 8 of them are universally accepted and have some level of that's my shit. Oh no, that was my shit for this moment. But then when this happened, this became my joint.
Right.
Like that. Because you always listen to the CD, always listen to the tape or whatever like that. That's, to me, is a classic album. Now, can they have skips on there? Absolutely they can, because the album is so great that even, I'm going to tell you why. I still skip to this day 22 Twos.
No, you don't.
I skip it.
You're a liar.
I go right to Can I Live. I skip it.
Chill, my niggas. You lying.
I skip it.
You're lying.
And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why I skipped that song in particular.
No, I'm too concrete.
No, listen. This is a good reason. This is a good reason. I guarantee you, you won't be too mad at me. 22 Twos was so dope when I first heard it. It was so dope when I first heard it. I literally had to go through each time and count the 22 Twos. And I did that so much, I got tired of counting. Because once I got it the first time, my brain automatically responded in that firing pattern every time that song came over. I have to listen to the first verse and count the 22. I heard it too much. And so
you
at
get
that point,
everything you said before too much is a great reason for it to not get skipped.
But it was overkill. It was overkill, bro. Like it was.
Listen, dog. I'm honestly, I just enjoy the thought pattern behind why anybody does anything that is as nuanced as music. Like why, you know what I mean? Like if it's something that is just so personal, because music is personal. It's a personal experience, which is what makes list conversations. Why did I scratch my eyebrows like that? Anyway, that was weird. Too bad this is live. Anyway, fall without a parachute, man. But no, like I bet, like whenever I hear somebody's opinion about something so intricate about a thing, I need to hear more about that. Because I don't like broad topic explanations. I feel like it's very lazy. I feel like people who don't enjoy critical thinking lean on that. Mm-hmm. Like if I'm going to talk about anything, right, I'm going to talk about it. And I meet very few people who talk about things like that. Like people don't like to deep dive. They think like they like to stay very surface in their discussions. I honestly don't have a thing in my life that I engage in that I speak about on a surface level. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Even like gaming, like I work with teens, right? So I feel like I always have to have a connection point with them to start the conversation where they're at so I can take them where they need to go. Mm-hmm. But I'll use gaming. So if I'm going to know about a game or talk about a game, I'm going to know so much about it and then get the rest from the kids so that there's an exchange.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So speaking of that, like that's what I'm saying. Like with rap, don't tell me you made a list that didn't involve thought. Like if you tell me your top 5, and I no disrespect, your top 5 consists of Big Daddy Kane, J. Cole, Rakim, like what? Get your trail mix list out of here. Like you literally didn't think about that. Like that's not a top 5. That's your favorites. Like you didn't go, okay, let me think about what somebody else thinks about rap.
Yo, that part about it is so frustrating when people don't understand how much emotion and subjectivity they impose on their tape. And it's like, bro, nobody's saying that he's not great, he's not dope, but it's just like based on what we're talking to, it doesn't apply. Like the whole Tupac thing. Son, I'm so tired of it. Now listen, I have nothing against Pac.
Come on with it. I love me some good Tupac slander.
I rock with his. It's not. This thing is not slander. It's just facts.
It's facts. Come on. We have the same page.
Homie was not lyrical. He had flow. They don't know the difference between lyricism and flow. He had flow to be able to keep the rhyme scheme and interlace it with a new one before he finished. He had flow. He was great at that.
But people who herald him so deeply, they're having an emotional experience about a man who spoke from. I love Pac's passion. Him and DMX are kindred spirits. If I was to do a movie about anything, I don't care what it is. If it could be about used car salesmen fighting zombies, it'd be them too. Dude. But we have to stop.
It has to stop somewhere. It has to stop somewhere.
Because if you don't want to separate the art from the artist, say that. Because a lot of people do that. Hence my Kanye #1 messing with a lot of people. But if you don't want to separate the art from the artist, that's fine. But say that. But Pac wasn't gonna battle rap you down. He wasn't lyrically greater than anyone.
That's not his game. Like,
and it's not. Accept it.
He's a poet that was able to turn it into rap, and there's nothing. Who's probably the best at it. It's like, and there's nothing wrong with that. That was his. And it's like, the words you said was so key to your understanding about the Pac fans that emotion. It's an emotional response, and I said that in my review to him. I had him at 25 on my top 50 because his legend was that great. The icon that he was and the influence that he had on so many people is undeniable. But when it comes to music, I was never at a party in the 90s and If I Die Tonight comes on. I was never at a party in the 90s and Bury Me a G came on while I'm on my chick. You understand what I'm saying? There was never no play for dude outside of and you had video, you had to have a mean video presence in the 90s. That's how you got your B-side records and all of that spins. Okay, you have to present like that because it wasn't breaking through on a party scene, bro, at all. And so I have all these arguments with these folks like, yo, there was no lyricism behind his words. It was good flow and great storytelling and emotion. Mm-hmm. He was able to pour so much of his emotion into the presentation of his words. It was able to tap into the other person's emotion who may be able to relate to how the police be messing with them and all that stuff that goes on outside of New York.
Or even if...
Not that police don't mess with us in New York, but, you know, in the story that he's bringing up. But go ahead, though.
Even if the person listening to Pac can't directly relate, he made you care about stuff. Because I get more... Here's the crazy thing. I have more arguments with white people about Pac than black people. How do you not like Tupac? What do you mean, how can I not like Tupac? It's very easy to not like him. It's like this. I don't dig his musical and his lyrical prowess. I can't say music because he knew how to make a song. Boy can make a song.
Yeah,
he can make the hell out of it.
You say his music was dope. Nobody's denying that.
But here's but this is me and you who have the skills of dissection.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because like when you start talking about it, and let's be real, some people only care to a point. They care enough to say, I like this, I don't like that. That's it. They don't say I like this and this is why. I don't like that and this is why. Like most people don't do that. So the fact that they would even have to have a negative connotation about anything Pac related makes them feel like they're shoving him down the list even further. Nah, a lot of our greats have flaws. I didn't know Michael Jordan was a douchebag until I became an adult.
Yeah, he's
you know what I'm saying?
He's a real tool. That's unfortunate.
What we don't know. Like, but once we know, now we have to act accordingly.
Yeah. Know better, you got to do better, I guess.
Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and get off this ride pause and go back to where we came from, because we didn't ride this ride. So that's my top 5 producers right there.
Okay, right.
All right. Can you see?
You never told me who number 1 was. You say you can remember.
Kanye. So number 1,
Kanye. Okay.
Number 2, Swiss Beats. Number 3, Pharrell. Number 4, Timbo. Number 5, Justin Blaze. Now, because this is where the replay value of this and clipping this part is important. Yes, I said this live because I'm handing out free gems to people who want to content create. You get to a space and you know you're transitioning into a topic that's going to get clipped. You remind yourself when you go back into the camera, you put your hands together, you go, clip point. Now, given the style that I rap, I like to hear things a certain way. Now I'm realizing as I age, my ear is changing because I just got hip to Benny the Butcher just now because he did a track with Wayne called Big Dog. Wayne's verse was out of this world on that. But I'm like, yo, I was like, hold on. I was like, this what Benny giving up? Then I heard him on the Russ album, Chomp 2. I was like, Ransom is nice too. So my ear is changing. So saying that to say that stays consistent because to be honest with you, like I'm not semi-active. I'm kind of like, I still go to the gym every now and again.
Okay.
I still throw it off the glass to myself, still see if I could dunk.
I got one, right? I got you.
Sometimes I call my friends to see if they want to come to the gym with me too. Or sometimes I go to the gym by myself.
It is.
But either way, I still be shooting around. Yeah. So given that, my ear is still kind of in tune to the kind of beats I like. Kanye is just a genius. Because him and the RZA, as far as nuance, what he did on Ultralight Beam, as far as the spatial audio where the choir and the close of Ultralight Beam, it's just the way you have to hear it to really appreciate what I'm talking about. Okay. Right? So you got Kanye in that respect. Swiss, he's so percussion based, and I love him for that.
That's all he is. He's all percussions, yo. Like it's Swiss beat, and I guess that's a good sign that you can always recognize art when you hear it. But yeah, it's like, yo, Swiss, my guy, like
right, yeah, I hear drums. I know drum.
There's other things out here now. I mean,
like a weird ill drum had a ooh 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 ooh. I'm like, what? Like what, Swiss? I've never heard that tempo before. Yeah. Give me more of that.
It works though. It works.
Pharrell made grinding, and he made happy. How you do that?
The spectrum.
How you do that?
That's a full spectrum of sound difference.
Timbo flipped the Knight Rider beat.
Timbo introduced the trap drums as well. Even though a lot of people may not like the trap sound, Timbo is basically the father of the sped up those trap drums too. So
and as far as Just Blaze is concerned, when I was putting mixtapes out, mixed CDs, because there were CDs at that time, when I was putting mixed CDs out in the 2002 to 2004 space, Just Blaze was the king of all beat making at that point.
Oh yeah, he had a lot of influence.
But my man Michael Peoples made a point in his comment. He said people are confusing producers and beat makers.
Okay.
Would you like to speak to that? Because I would like to know your opinion as far as that can.
I mean, there's a difference, but I think that's kind of like sometimes it comes down to the splitting hairs thing because a lot of producers are beat makers, and I think that goes along with the connotation of the word. You know what I'm saying? Even though we know Puff was a producer, but we know he wasn't in the booth. It was,
don't say that man's name on this broadcast. You trying to get this flagged? You know what's going on.
Oh, my fault. Hey, my bad. I didn't know the kind of game we were playing over here, man. Like,
if we hope to get anywhere in life, that's Voldemort right now. He is,
okay, my bad. Okay,
not be named.
That owns Bad Boy, the owner of Bad Boy. He wasn't in the booth going through vinyl or whatever like that. We know that was the hit makers and all that. You know what I mean? So I understand there's a difference in beat makers and producers. Again, I think it all comes down to the context of the record label, whoever the artist is or whatever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think it's, is there a difference? Yes, but is it that much that it's gonna, it's gonna tip a balance in another direction? To me, not really. Because I won't put Puff. I won't put.
Man, I was kidding. I say
on a Bad Boy. I won't put him.
Entertainment purposes.
Yeah, I wouldn't put Puff on the top 5 producer list either. Even I know he was a producer. You understand what I'm saying? Word. So I wouldn't put him on that list. So yeah, that's a solid list. I would just, Swiss and Just Blaze wouldn't make my top 5s. That to me, that will go to Dre and RZA. Since you said RZA wasn't in there.
Can I assume something about you? I'm looking at your aesthetic, and I feel like you like Jay Dilla.
Oh, do I? Wasn't the Dilla Day not too long ago? Jay Dilla, No ID, Quasimodo, that whole beat conductor.
You don't have to look like it though.
Yo, that MF Doom, I'm a
Don't say
backpack. I'm
MF
a
Doom.
backpack dude at heart, yo. I'm a backpack dude at heart. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not shoe sticking backpack, but I'm a backpack dude.
You know why I'm phony though? Because I started out that way.
We all started underground trying to spit rhymes.
Who my kid? Like I thought J. Rue the Damager was the illest,
that
but
was my guy.
I didn't realize it was just that beat.
That was no. J. Rue is nice though, B. Like it's Sunrise in the East was a low key banger, yo. He had a
outside of Come Clean. I have nothing.
Nah, you can't stop the Prophet, Static, Jungle Music. What's the shit? Ain't the Devil Happy? What's the other joint he had on there? Dirty Rotten Scoundrel. Yo, he had some joints on there, man. You can go back and listen to that again, man.
You know what the equivalent of what you just did was? You know when you read the Bible and you get to like a patriarch and then they name all his kids and it's like Manibazaz and Hephiladaz and Eliphaz. Yeah. I'm gonna be like, you might as well have just said that to me because I didn't recognize none of them names you said. Come clean.
That's it.
And then a dot, period, because that's all I know. I'm sorry, brother.
Jerry was nice.
But listen, but that's why I'm phony though. Is that you know what happened? I'm gonna tell you what happened. And I don't care about saying this. Let me say it like this. I had a misspent youth where I engaged in behaviors that reflected the music that I was listening to in 1996 when a certain doubt that was reasonable dropped. Right?
Right.
So I was engaged in some low-level activities, very low-level activities, right?
Low vibratory.
So it spoke to me.
Right.
That mindset of going out and going to get it. And like, so I always looked at it like, okay, I'd have a job, then I'd have another job, but then I'd have another job. Like I liked that. Like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah. That was the age for that too. 3 jobs at a time.
Right. So the music that I was formed in, where my personality would begin to have the embryonic stages of its shape. Because up until you really start to venture out for you specifically, not I'm going to school because I want to get good grades so my parents could. No, when you step out the house, it is 100% for your desires and your pursuits. Mm-hmm. It changes that's how your personality develops because the world is now your playground. Mm-hmm. So you're learning where you want to set your foot in. Mm-hmm. So your personality is being shaped by your do's, your don'ts, your likes, your dislikes. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's what I mean along those lines. I say that to say, by the time I hit that point, that mindset, everybody who I like to hear rap, like, you know, you push your T's, your T.I.s. Listen, bro, my top 4 is Wayne, because I just took Hove off. I haven't decided on the 5 yet. I'm working on it. Hove, Wayne, Tip, Styles, Push. But I just took Hove off.
These are your top favorites. Because there's a difference between who you think is the greatest and who your favorite is. There's a difference.
No, I'll be honest with you. That's my greatest list because their bodies of work prove it so. And thank you for asking me that way. Because people do not like to do, like if you ask me why something is something, let's think about Pusha T for a second because we'll start.
Yeah, you got some explaining to do on that one.
That's fine. Let's start here. Have you ever heard that man spit a whack verse? Be real, for real. Like, oh, I don't think that was trash. Pusha T.
I'll say this: wasn't maybe a whack verse, but it wasn't the best verse on the song either. Think about that.
But think about who he does features with. It's okay for him not.
I'm no argument. Again, this is not a slight to him. Not a slight. I rock with Push. Mm-hmm. Okay, I bet with Push, but he made my list. But at the same time, a lot of his success was with the clips in the beginning. And to me, No Malice was the better bar spitter. To me.
Let me say it like this. This is and I'm going to deviate, but I'll be back. Trust me, I always come back.
You come back, yeah.
I'm like the boogeyman, if he's even real anymore.
If you believe
it. That's the J Hove. That's the J Big argument to me. Big said better raps. J said his raps better. Like it's that kind of semantic. I'm or vice versa. I might not be saying it right. Listen.
No. You said exactly right. No, you made the point clear. You made your point clear.
So now if we go back to Push and Mal, it's that. Like the way Malice delivered was such a big brother confident. Now, but push being the younger brother. He's like, nah, these punches because I'm the youngest, I gotta come. I'm never gonna have that confidence to say it like that. So I gotta punch your head off. That's little bro. So I'm gonna say it like this. Shout out to KC Prince, my little brother, my younger brother, because he's not little no more, he grown. My younger brother, KC Prince, he raps too. At this point, I write better than him. If he had to freestyle, he don't write better than me. If we both started freestyling, he'd be better. But if we had to sit down and write, I'm coming out on top. So it's the
okay. So to your point with the Jay-Z thing and Big, you gotta remember Jay's whole style is cerebral anyway. He don't write shit down anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like muscle memory to be witty, quick on your toes or whatever. But can he go the other way though? Can he sit down and paint a "I gave you power"? Can he sit down and give me one of those?
First of all, I like what you did.
I'm going big Joker. I'm going big Joker, little Joker, Ace, King, Queen. We're running books, nigga.
Watch this.
We're running books.
This is me at the spades table when you do that. This is me. Watch this. I'm gonna look at you and go, I ain't never told you I could play spades anyway. You made me sit.
We pulling Trump, fool. We going for it.
We wasn't even talking about Nas. See what you did? That's gross. I said Jay and Big, and you said Nas reference.
Because nobody could. That was the best.
Yeah, but I feel you though. No, you're right. You're right. Because to be honest with you, even when Hov tried to jump in that bag on Meet the Parents, where he got into a really confusing timeline. Because I hold everybody I hold to a high regard. I hold them accountable. That was I didn't understand the timeline and Meet the Parents and what he tried to do. He tried to speak from the perspective of the kid who grew up to be the one who got shot, but then the kid who grew up to do the shooting shot the kid he rejected, and it was just I don't know. He tried it. He tried it, but that was also around Ether time where he was trying to prove himself.
And that's a whole nother conversation right there.
No, it's not, because who's going to talk about that with you? I don't know any person on this side of the room who would talk to you about Ether in 2024.
Why not? It has a place in hip hop history. Listen, bro.
Because I'm mad about it.
Even Jay's camp said he got us on that one, man. They had to fall back. They showed, not show everybody. You see that? This nigga bleed just like me. He bleed just like me.
But he was Tony Stark's against Thanos in that regard.
Not even, bro. You see, okay. I can, and this is why I went with Nas for number one. For the simple fact that he didn't need all of the commercial success that Jay had to still be in conversation. This man dropped about 6 whack albums in a row.
Who?
Nas.
Okay, yes, he did.
And
say it one more time.
I would admit to it.
Say it again. No, because I'm gonna clip this part and I'm gonna send it to my man Say, because we have the whole Nas conversation all the time. Say it one more time.
Nas whipped on like 4 joints in a row. Them joints
you just said 6, now it's 4. So you call it.
With 4, I don't know, maybe still they whipped on like 2 joints. Nas whipped on 1 joint. Like, what are you talking about? He might have
he
be batting 1,000. You know, they might be batting 1,000. Who's counting? But he had some whips. You know what I'm saying? It may not have been the role, but it was like collectively he had about like it was a nice collaboration of whips that he had. Yeah. But even in the whips, and even when Jay was still dropping Black albums and Magna Cartas and Watch the Thrones, Nas still in the conversation of the greatest MC ever.
You're right.
He still didn't lose any steam.
You're right.
That's the greatness behind what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? And,
you know why though? You know why I respect him? Because even in what we just said about the fact that he, like, in our eyes of people who love hip hop and held Nas in a high regard because we understand who he is, even amidst all that, you would think somebody be like, I'm not even.
He's washed. You thought he was washed.
But think about that from a personal standpoint though. You're like, nobody's feeling me. Nobody felt this one. So that's too many in a row. I'm just going to give it up. But instead of giving it up, he sat back, watched the game, saw like, yo, I can rap from this perspective because I'm older now. You feel what I'm saying?
And that's what he's great at. The perspective-based brunch on Sundays, perspective-based commentary that paints a picture that you right there. Now, if you want to draw on somebody's emotions through your music like that, that's true lyricism. That's being able to put a thought and personify it.
You think that's what he did? You think that's what he did with King's Disease? The King's Disease series?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Good. Then I'll go listen to it then, because I haven't listened to not one of those.
Well, if he's number 12 on your list, that's not shocking to me, bro.
No, I said he was after number 12. I said he's not
13. Oh, yeah. Okay. If he's number 13 on your list, that's not shocking. That doesn't throw me off. That doesn't catch me off guard. I actually expect to hear slander of such coming from the likings of a person of your ilk. So, okay, it's all good, bro. It's all good. I listen. I got darts. I got darts.
Listen,
I got good
I appreciate
shield.
you for it, big dog. I do.
I got good shield work too.
But here's the thing. To that regard, that's where my Primo thing comes in too. Listen, man. Primo's made some of my favorite. Like, come on. He made 10 Crack Commandments. Like, I can stop there and be satisfied with having a Primo argument.
That's sufficient.
And he's done other things. Mass Appeal is a sonically pleasing beat to me, even though I couldn't see myself rapping over it. But that was the underrated greatness of Guru too. Like, he understood Guru's tone, pitch,
right.
And he was like, I have to do this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Primo understood the rapper he was making the beats for. 10 Crack Commandments couldn't have been done at that time by anybody but Biggie. That's why everybody who did it behind him had to borrow something from Big in order to do it.
Did you hear Benny's version? 10 more Crack Commandments?
No, not yet.
Oh God, bro, catch up. That's about a year old. Yeah.
I think there's some new rules as far as like what you can do when you play content on.
Am I overstaying my welcome, good brother? I just got here. Am I overstaying my welcome?
No, bro.
That was best with you.
No.
Nah, but yeah, definitely 10 more Crack Commandments. Yeah. It's a bang. Like, I'm Griselda heavy. Heavy. Let
me tell you something. People like me putting people on the music and people putting me on the music, that's my love language, bro. Like, that's how like, if I mess with somebody, like, I don't like, if I can send you a song without any preface, that's how I know I can do it. You know what I'm saying? And I only do it with people I could do that with.
Gotcha.
Like, you can't just send around, this song. Like, I just sent my man I sent him something off the Onyx Shut 'Em Down album. And when I talk underrated, Sticky Fingers. I don't want to do it because I'm deviating too much. Because I'm gonna my original point.
Sticky is underrated. I'll give you that. That he was.
I sent him something off that with no preface. He was like, "Yo, this was a time." That's when I knew. Hold on. No.
What are your thoughts on Sabe the Prince? He's my top underrated MC right now, bro.
Now I'm just gonna clear everything because now you're talking about something.
Sabe, No Dope on Sundays is probably one of my favorite. Like,
but that's my Pusha T point that I deviated from. Now I'm back to. Now we can stand them next to each other. Because if you're gonna ask me what I think of Sabe the Prince, you should have that same affinity that you approach that with for Pusha T. They're the same rapper.
Sabe's better though.
How? In what way? Execution?
This wordplay.
Flexibility? He's far more versatile a rapper than Push.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just like the wordplay and the way he structures his songs or whatever.
When he said, "Y'all are just a bunch of sitting ducks or Portuguese."
Yo, my man said in his joint, way back when I first got to turn on the side high, there was a song called Napoleon, where he ended the joint with that I'm not gonna see you. It'll just be bang, boom, pow, onomatopoeia. I was like, yo.
Oh, was that on the Jack of Trades mixtape?
I can't remember. I just know I just found that single. I don't know where it came off, but I know the name of the song was called Napoleon.
Because there was you know what? I'm gonna say that was he had a mixtape series too.
I was sold.
I've been listening to Sabe for a long time, big dog. Like, I'm about like 2014. Like, I've been listening to him. So like when you said his name, it didn't surprise me, but people don't. That's like if I say Corey Guns to somebody, like they gonna look at me and be like, who?
Yeah, nah.
Why?
Corey got pen work. He got major pen game. No, I get it.
I feel like, and so again, like when I look at, but to just stay on the Sabe and Pusha point, Pusha's never said anything whack to me, just like Sabe has never said anything whack to me. But what I will say about them is guys like them who know they're so lyrically gifted, they like to try things with their beats that kind of frustrate me. Because like I literally heard Pusha rap over no drums at the end of No Dope on Sunday.
The first song, yeah.
I didn't like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of was like, okay, that I see what you did there.
Right.
But
like, don't be so, because some people are so nice.
I got
that,
you.
and I think that's my Nas J. Cole comparison too. Some people are so nice that they go, I'm bored. I'm gonna try to rhyme over, the
I think Nas
kids,
from that a whole lot more.
swinging straws back and forth. Like,
I think Nas from that a whole lot more though.
and I think I think Cole heard the comparisons because I'm sure I'm not the only person to say it.
No, Cole is a derivative of Nas. That's like the carbon copy of Nas. Where that's he's definitely influenced by Nas, hands down.
That's like Nas, J. Cole, Lupe.
Somebody had to explain Lupe to me. Somebody has to explain him to me. I have no desire. Everybody tell me, yo, Lupe nice, Lupe nice. I've never
take Nas, right?
Careful with that. Careful.
Wait, I'm going somewhere, bro. I engage in hyperbole, but you gotta walk with me for a minute. We not going to the store in the corner. We going to the store around the block. They got the same stuff. Walk
but
with
the niggas is over there, man.
They be over there, but I'm cool with them. Take this walk with me. Lupe is Nas, but if Nas wasn't humble and didn't remind you he was smart every single time he opened his mouth, Lupe's hubris, it's on the surface. He's like, hey, I could rap and I'm smart, but I'm smarter than you and I'm smarter than y'all. And all y'all niggas who think y'all smart, I'm smarter than y'all too. Like, that's him. And I don't like that about him because it's not endearing. It's a tone. That's my description of him. Other people might not have that depiction, but that's my best description of Lupe and what turns me off from him. Because I've never listened to an album of his either.
Me neither. But his name is thrown around so easily in a lot of top tier MC conversations, and
he one of them ones with the pen though. He his wordplay is elite. Like it's
and that's the thing. The songs that I did hear him have weren't bad songs, but it just didn't drive me enough to go looking for more of his shit. You know what I'm saying? That's just bottom line. I ain't got nothing against Lupe. I just been never driven to follow through and really, get into the catalog.
So, and as far as the rest of my list, because we already got Push out the way, I made my comparison with him. T.I., when I look at his bodies of work, I would say he is a consistent 7 to 7.5-er. Because I don't believe he has a classic album.
Whoa, are you serious? Whoa!
Wait. I'm sorry. Slow down. Are you talking trap music or urban legend?
I could even go as far as I won't say that, but a hood classic was I'm Serious.
Okay. Well, if we're gonna talk hood classics, then I'm gonna say
overall classics, yes.
As far if we're recognizing it on the purple, like with the purple tapes, like if we're recognizing it with the purple tapes and the Ready to or Life After Deaths, then it doesn't fall into that.
Okay.
Urban legend or trap music may outside top 15, but what I'm saying is Tip understands who he is. 7.5-er. He has a lot of bravado, so that single he gives you is gonna have a lot of wordplay and it's gonna be on the radio.
It's gonna have a lot of words, period. His ass.
So with that, that's how I see his album out to. People might say he has all 10s, but if I'm measuring it up against other things, we're gonna use the C word with, because everything doesn't deserve that word either.
I get it. I'm just now. I don't mean to cut you off. I just speak to it from a different perspective, only because, like I tell a lot of people, my experience was unique when it comes to hip hop. We're from the same place. We're from the same surroundings, upbringing, and enthrallment into the culture from the roots, right? I go to Atlanta in '98. Okay. Right at the beginning of the Dirty South movement. Right after ATLiens dropped and Aquemini came out the late summer. All right, that was the same day Blueprint. I mean, not Blueprint. Hard Knock Life Volume 2 came out. Okay. Atlanta was a different place to be because at that point, the way we saw hip hop come of age in New York, I was able to see the same shit happen in Atlanta or the Dirty South as a whole. Dirty South was the New York of the South. I mean, Atlanta was the New York of the South in that late 90s, early 2000s. Everybody and everything was going through Atlanta. It was hot. I saw easily way more celebs in Atlanta during that stretch I was out than I ever did in New York. Ever. And now was that some, choice places during my time, but man, I was still young coming up. So it was like by the time, as soon as I graduated high school in 96, I left. I went to Baltimore for 2 years at Morgan State, and then I went down to Clark, Atlanta in 98. Finished up out there.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Wow. Me and you are saying, let me start here. When you decide, what made you decide to leave New York what made you sure you were ready to dip?
Oh, I was ready. It was, I knew two things were going to happen. I knew I was going to get caught up into some shit I didn't want to be in. And then on top of that, I just seen my mans get killed on the corner right in front of me a week before I'm heading out the way to school.
So now with that, when I decided to leave, to go away to college, and I chose, let me say it like this. I don't know if you went to school with a purpose, like you had a major in mind.
I did.
I didn't leave for school with a purpose. Mine had some personal stuff attached to it. Like I really just wanted to make my mom proud for real, because up until that point, I don't feel like I had. And also, I knew if I stayed, I knew what was coming. Yeah. Because the way I was moving around smart, but I had a lot of people who lived near where I lived who hated the way I moved, because it was like, yo, how dare you not be from around here, move here, then move differently than us and show us that. Mm-hmm. Like it was gonna get bad.
Yeah.
So, and me understanding that,
yeah,
I went away to school. Now, in that process, I meet a guy from Detroit. So you went south, I went Midwest.
Right.
During around that 2 to 3 year span. So in 2001, I moved to Detroit.
Okay.
And I started to look at hip hop different. So I moved to Detroit in 2001. They don't care about New York rap at all. They cannot. They feel like New York specifically is a direct affront to hip hop in the Midwest, especially Detroit. They could care less about New York. Like I went up there getting into freestyle battles with dudes. Like mind you, I know I'm in hostile territory after my first joint, because I battle a dude who knows the dude I battle sees me in the street talking about what's up. I'm like, what's up? His what's up wasn't the same as my
what's up. He was giving, yeah.
And his what's up wasn't an even less battle what's up. His what's up was I'm trying to get into some fisticuffs with you because I heard about you and I don't like you, but I'd rather fight you than do anything else. So after I kept it moving, like he looked confused by my what's up, because my what's up was I didn't recognize his what's up.
He's like, yeah, what up though?
And it wasn't until I got to the crib and I saw my man. I was like, yo, I just saw such and such. And he said, so I think he want to work. He's like, yo, you saw him? Yeah, homeboy don't like you. He definitely want to mix. I said, huh? Me? I was like, I don't even know him.
Yeah,
so in saying that, they at that time they did not like New York. So that whole Detroit rap scene that was budding because of M.
Yeah.
That Eminem was not the spokesperson for Detroit rap at that time. Like Fat Killers, MC Breed, even though he was from Pontiac, still Detroit heavy. Like they support Detroit artists. Like it was big Detroit.
Right.
And don't get me started on say his name. The one who scared the death out of Arsenal. Trick. Don't get me started on the Trick.
I don't know nothing about that. I don't know about them cats out there. I never got into Detroit rap outside of D12 and Voice.
No, because it's tied to the whole BMF story.
Oh, okay.
Like that and let me say it like this. They didn't need us to succeed, just like the South didn't need us to succeed.
Right.
If you was getting it out the trunk, the Midwest had their own back. The South had their own back. The problem with New York is we think, and we still continue to, we're a little wiser now because we're older and we see the landscape for what it is. But in that day, we thought we moved everything. We might influence some stuff, but they'll take our stuff, flip it and bounce it, repackage the stamp to the point where you forget that's not, man, that's our dope, man. No, it ain't shot it. This that good. Man, we talking about this ain't that blue magic.
So,
yes, it is.
I challenge that to a certain point. For a good long time, that it had to go through New York radio before it became anything.
Sure.
For a good long time.
Sure, 1000%. I agree.
And so I argue that point only to bolster the idea that, you know, Atlanta, they definitely had to break away from that whole mix in order to be able to stand on their own 2 feet. You
Right.
know what I mean? And you know, and not saying that, you know, not saying your point isn't valid or like that, but I'm just saying, just to assert, I just want to challenge that one point about, we think that New York, as of now, we know that's not the case,
Right.
because music has been digitized and anybody can have a platform to share music. But we know we have a few moguls out there that's actually cornering the market or whatever when it comes to distribution of music. But we do know, for, you know, up until recent, that it still had to go through New York to be a hit, to be considered.
For sure.
You
Well,
know?
let me say this then. Let me say what I was speaking to. The optic of what East Coast looks like.
Right. Okay.
Some of it was siphoned from New York style culture. And I say that because T.I. said when he would come back from his summers in New York, he would be dressed like us.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, what's that? So now, if him just wearing a thing he was wearing in a whole nother state, and you looking at it like, what's that? That means y'all don't do that.
Yeah.
So now you do that enough. It's like, oh, well, okay, they do that. But they still put their spin. You know, that they did it with a diamond studded goblet and big spinning 28s on a
What a time.
pool. Like, you know what I'm saying?
What a time.
But our influence, and we saw that and we took that as, oh, they still need us. Then 50 Cent came.
I was having this conversation too.
Then 50 Cent came.
Yeah.
And you know what 50 Cent was? 50 Cent was to 2003. And it might have been a year before, a year after. I put 2003 as the encapsulated time because I really forget what year certain albums come out. And you were right, Illmatic, 1994. I know you knew. I had to check for myself. You was right. My fault. I said 93. It's whatever. However, 50 Cent was to 2003 what DMX was to 1996. Because if you thought you was about to eat, guess what? No, you're not. No, I'm lying.
98.
98. 96 was Reasonable Doubt. 98 was 98 because Reasonable Doubt had its influence into who Hove was becoming, and then other people still doing the pretty stuff. Bad Boy still doing their thing. DMX was like, guess what? Nah. So let me make a counterpoint and bounce back. So you have Nas, DMX, 50 Cent, disruptors. Disruptors of the culture. To a benefit, right? To the point where you change hip hop. 93, 94, Nas, no, we rap like this now. 98, DMX is like, yo, Cristal, what? I can't. There's people in the hood that can't even eat meals.
Right.
We rap like this now. 2003, 50 Cent was like, yo, the South is choking y'all out, but I'm from up here, but I sound like I'm from down there. So put the two together, 10 million out the gate.
Yeah, easy.
Get Rich or Die Trying, certified top 5 hip hop album of all time. Because of that reason.
Yes, I can agree. And like I said, I was in Atlanta when it dropped. That weekend, it was All-Star weekend. And this was back when the cell phone towers weren't as strong as they are today.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta was flooded with people. Like every street, it was a traffic jam. Like it was a parking lot. I didn't go outside because I couldn't go anywhere. As soon as I get on the highway backing up to where I'm getting on the exit at, just to get off the exit 2 miles down. So it's just like I'm staying in the crib. You know what I'm saying, for the most part, until it died down. But anyway, throughout all of that, phones weren't working. It was that giving that all circuits busy message back in the early 2000s that Sprint PCS used to give when there was too many people.
Yeah.
All circuits busy. We heard that half the weekend. But guess what you did hear though? Heard Wankster. You heard 21 Questions. You heard PIMP or all that shit coming out of other people's cars while you sitting in traffic. Whole weekend. That boy had it on Smidash.
You know why I'm angry though? Because maybe because I don't even think where's the song where he I'm tripping. I can't remember the name of the song, but he actually like it's the one. Oh, Back Down. Back Down was leaked to the streets.
Yeah, early.
Months before that, right?
Yeah, early. Yeah, I remember that. Mm-hmm.
Now, Back Down was leaked to the streets before the optic of Wankster came out. I'm getting to a point. I hate the fact that you heard him say Ja's name on Back Down, which was out before that. You were still loving Ja Rule. Then the optic of 50 Cent along with Wankster came out. Then he put the picture of the fact that he was talking about Ja Rule. You're like, oh, it's popular to diss Ja Rule openly now. I'm off of Ja Rule. What?
Yeah,
you corny. Like, I don't like that about hip-hop. I don't do fickle hip-hop fans. I don't used to like nobody. If somebody's character has come into question in recent years, I only speak to that.
He did totally end Ja Rule's career, though.
But it didn't have to be that way. If hip-hop fans was loyal in that, we were so quick. Actually, live long enough to become the villain is it rings in my head when we allow somebody to make us forget about somebody else. We were ready to give up on that anyway then. But I still listen to Rule, and I
wasn't the biggest fan of his. I wasn't the biggest fan.
Never? Okay. Well, that's fair. But let me tell you the fact that I started listening to Ja Rule on the Survival of the Illest freestyle when I first heard him rap over the Eye for an Eye beat.
Okay.
He did a
never heard that freestyle.
You never heard it?
Nah. Like I said, my first exposure to Ja Rule, honestly, was Murdergram. Which him
right.
Jay-Z.
Okay, so
my first real exposure to him.
Off the Streets Is Watching soundtrack.
Streets Is Watching, yeah.
Cool. So if that's the case, then for you, I'm honestly gonna listen to King's Disease because I'm gonna be honest with you.
King's Disease is 1 and 3 of the best out of all of them.
This is probably not gonna be our last public discussion about hip hop.
That's fair. I'm with it, bro.
On the spin, when I spin back and I go, yo, I owe the culture an apology, or my opinion still stands. You know what? And you know what the sad part is? This is what I'm really afraid of. I'm afraid that if I listen to this King's Disease series,
go on.
I'm breaking up, dropping through a tunnel.
Go on, yeah, go on.
That and
yeah, I no, bro. I'm off. The antenna is at full strength, brother. You know what I'm saying? Pause. You know what I mean? But yeah,
antenna full strength.
Yeah.
But
myself.
All right, I'm afraid that I might have to strongly really reconsider who I imagine Nas to be. Now, because we've already spoken about the misses in the middle, we're off that. That's no longer a factor in my decision making because we both agree on there.
Yeah,
so it cancels each other out. Yeah, that's right. How I do math. If me and you agree on a point counterpoint about a person, then it no longer is in the equation because we're on the same page with that. So something else has to be considered. So now the something else that now has to be considered are projects that are recent to me. I'm not holding him accountable for Cop Shot the Kid.
And I didn't know what album was that. Was that the that was right before he did with Kanye joint, right? That six track album.
The only song off of that was hard was the intro with Puff. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. He be having these misses. What makes him go in there head that be like, oh, I need this beat right?
Because he's. But listen,
I never get it.
Let me. Because I love to make comparisons like this, so you see it from how I see things. Me and you have the same hip hop story. However, your mom was an educator. My mom worked for the Department of Probation. So in saying that, at education, our paths veer.
Gotcha. Okay.
Our love for the things that we love doesn't change. We're just experiencing them different because of where we've placed ourselves, right? You placed yourself in an academic space where people like Jay Dilla and those he produces for stand out to you. You know what I'm saying? You can speak to the Jungle Brothers in native tongue and really speak affectionately about them, because that was they spoke to that side of you that leaned towards the intellectual side. I too was an intellectual, but me being an auditory learner, I preferred to be where things were happening so I could learn. I listened through storytelling. Therefore, my teaching style, when I speak with students, is storytelling. Funny thing is, I don't write good storytelling raps. I'm never going to tell you a story about me because I just want you to know how nice I am. I don't want to get personal with you.
Tell me a story, bro. That is high on my list. If you can't tell me a story, I can't trust your MC skills, man.
And
tell me a story.
So now I'm going to send you a link of things, and we'll discuss on the circle back, right? So from my rap perspective, I can, but I don't want to. Just let me flip these words, hit these punchlines, wow you with what I compared what to what, and keep it moving. No,
there's space for that. Huh? There's absolutely space for that. Anywhere you go in hip hop, there's space for that, obviously. No, I mean, I get it.
So in saying those things, you get to a place where you're bored. Okay. So you start to experiment with things musically. Yeah. It be life-wise too. You know what I'm saying? Because on a personal level, I got to a point in my life where I was bored. I began to experiment to my detriment. I bounced back from it, and I now have a lived experience that anybody who may struggle in the future, I can say, yo, big dog, I've been through that. Yeah. You can absolutely bounce back from this, and this, because I did. Right. So when your path takes you a place, you make different decisions. Nas's path took him to, every now and again, I'm gonna rap over some old Olu Dara. Plus, look who his dad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I get it. He was at a kind of a creative stalemate at the moment in time, whatever, like that. But wanted to create. I get it.
I wanna play a game with you. I'm just gonna say a name, and then you just fire back. Lil Wayne.
Best MC from the South ever.
Big Boy.
Wasn't better than Dre, but he's on the Mount Rushmore of the down south. He's still on my Mount Rushmore.
You almost made me deviate. We'll have an Andre 3000 conversation at another time.
Yeah, Dre's on. Yeah,
I'm good. I'm past it. Redman.
I'm glad you brought him up because that's my MF nigga, B. That's my favorite all-time MC, #1 on my list of favorites. I'm not saying the greatest. Nas is my GOAT. Redman is my favorite MC ever.
That's fair. That's fair.
Busta Rhymes, top 5. I was heavy Bus. I've been a fan. Huh?
Pause. Don't say heavy Bus to me.
Oh, yeah. Whoa, hey.
Don't say heavy.
I gotta watch my mouth. Kids are watching, right? Kids are watching. I apologize.
Okay, so now this is why I mentioned them back to back. Because I heard what you said. You said Redman is your, like, that's your guy, like, but not your GOAT. Because I feel that for a long time, nobody could tell me that Busta Rhymes wasn't the best rapper to ever rap. This is when disaster strikes Bus.
That was yeah. Mm-hmm.
So again, the fact that we're the same age.
Yeah.
And when I say certain things, we're in the same periods of life experiencing the same music.
Yeah.
That's why I love how this conversation is. Because when you challenge me, I go, you know what? I do have to see it from that perspective. When I said something to you, like, you know what, man, I ain't think about it like that. So Redman is your Busta Rhymes for me.
Okay, got it.
Have you ever met Redman?
Yo, I was saying to myself, if I had like a Make-A-Wish Foundation, I just want to spend a day with homie, just like see what it's like, because it's like the same clown buffoonery stuff that I'm on. I'm a silly dude outside of all of this.
Same.
You know what I'm saying? I love clown stuff. I love, just cracking on folks with it. Just regular, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I never met Red.
So, and this is, again, I meet him when when Disaster Strikes. That album is so close to flawless.
Yeah.
If not, that to me is his best body of work.
Yes, I can agree.
Like Body Rock.
Yes.
the thing he did with Rampage, the 2-part joint he did with Rampage,
things we do.
even the Erykah Badu joint, which was a neo soul radio reach that I respect to this day. It is right there.
Yeah, no, I get it.
The only song I didn't like, where I didn't need a weed song. You could have kept that. Bye, Nickelback. I could have.
Yeah. But see, I was heavy into that lifestyle. So
me too. But
I spoke my language. It was fun. It was a fun song. It was fun.
MJ, get off my live, brother, because I texted you and asked you what's your schedule like today, because I was supposed to have you on this cast with us because he's a you dude. So now I'm gonna set it up. Next time. I'm mad at you, but what I will say about that, man, but let me finish what I'm saying. Stay right there, dog. Stay right there, because I'm about to get sentimental with you. Because I meet Busta Rhymes when he's high #1 on my list, I meet him at Atrium on Soho, where I used to get all the chaps from, because I wasn't getting enough money to buy polo, so I had to had a polo shirt.
A good chaps rugby will take you places, though.
That's all. See what I'm saying? Thank you for respecting my brother.
I had to rock some chaps in my day. Trust me.
You ain't got to do that. I know how you give it up on the overtimes in your financial literacy. Dog, don't do that. I feel bad saying it the way I said it. I hate you.
Talk to your chat room.
But no, that's my guy, MJ. He's in my story.
Okay.
He's in my story. He's in my hip hop story. So we're saying that I meet Busta Rhymes at Atrium. I'm like, yo, Bust, da da da. That's the first time I was ever fanned out. I met mad celebrities before him. I meet him, and he was like, nah, Duke, I don't do it. Then goes and signs autographs for 2 chicks. I was like, oh no, I don't even mess. That's the first time I had to separate the art from the art. Yeah.
I met Bust a couple times on the humble, just at a in 112 back in Atlanta. And I dapped him up. It was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like what you're doing with your music. It was like, yo, looking forward.
I leave room for the fact that me coming across fanned out might have not been a good look, because Mobb Deep didn't act like that when I met them. They actually took a picture.
Right, okay.
You see what I'm saying? So maybe I was too over exuberant in front of the ladies. Because now that I think about it on the rewatch as I walk through the mirrors of my mind.
Right. Okay, I got you.
Summer breeze. Anyway.
I got you.
Forget it. It didn't land, and I'm good with that. It's cool. As I walk through it in the mirrors of my mind, I might have came across corny, and he didn't want to affiliate himself with that. My bad, Bust.
I got you.
Because you totally watch this. Anyway.
They all do.
I told my girl Clara, shout out to Clara, who's 12 feet away. I told her that's why I wanted to do this. Because your approach, the energy you give off, like there's already people watching, that resonated so heavily with me, right? I said, I have to, because he's going to come to the conversation the same way I am, because he don't care. He's here for the conversation.
I don't know no other way, be honest with you. I don't know no other way. When it comes to this, I don't know any other way.
And so thank you for that.
My duty. It's my honor.
MJ. And I probably wouldn't physically be alive if it wasn't for MJ. Long story short, it was a huge gang fight at my school. Mad people ran on my side. The Haitians didn't have anywhere to run because their side of the train platform was going towards the train. Ours was going towards the stairs. So they was ready to fight. It's almost like they called our bluff. They did it like the movie 300 before the movie 300 even came out. I'm not kidding. You know how wide a train platform is?
Yeah.
So I'm in the front because I'm the youngest at that time. I'm like 14, 13. We freshmen in high school. And I'm the one that said it because I'm the youngest. I threw a punch. Somebody threw a punch. Me too. I got arrested that day too. So I snuff a dude. He got arrested because of me. Because he was already out. I guess he was like, yo, where's He comes back for me after 2 people got stabbed. 2 people got stabbed. He came back, snatched me out of the fray. I'm bloody, lumped up. The moment he pulls me, he gets snatched by a cop. I get snatched by a cop on the rundown from the steps. We both in separate police cars, but I'm alive.
Right.
He got arrested that day because he came back for me. Here's the real deal that he may or may not remember. At that time, I didn't even know me and him was that close where he would even come back for me.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
That's right.
So
right.
I didn't remember our friendship being that tight. I remember me being dumb cool with him because he liked to get fresh. He was a polo boy. He was super poloed out all the time. So I like admired that. So I was always around him. Like there was, listen, man, like it's when it comes to people who are a part of my story, that's the here's the camera. That's the linchpin. Like that's the disruptor.
Right.
Because had he not been there, I might not be here. But after that, because I got transferred to another school, me and him didn't touch base until mad years later on Facebook when I put John Dewey High School as a school I went to. That's how I hadn't seen or heard from him since the day he rescued me from getting my head stomped into some pavement.
Damn.
And now we here.
That's what's up. Shout out to MJ.
Shout out to MJ.
Word.
You feel what I'm saying?
Good stuff, man.
So with that said,
people like that, man.
I want to close on this because I want you to have the floor before this closes out. This is it as much, and I know the volume in which I speak. Sometimes I feel like I speak too much. I want to get better at that when I have people on with me. I truly do, because I don't want that to turn off people from wanting to watch it. It's not about me. It's about the person I bring on. So this part right now is all you. I'm gonna ask you this question because this is the platform for that. Why do you love hip hop the way that you do?
It's a layered ass question, man. As I put on my gazelles, that I was only influenced by one of the first pioneer groups of hip hop, Run DMC. I love it because it's almost like, you know, like how historically they said our identity and our history has been erased and we don't even know. I don't know. Some people do. I don't know where I came from. I don't know where. I just know that historically my bloodline is traced back to the western shores of Africa. And they were a nomadic group from one of the original 12 tribes of Israel. So I know my lineage directly relates back to that. All right. Where and when, that's irrelevant. Not irrelevant, but that's not available for me to know. I think I love it because it allowed me to actually have an ownership, some stake in a culture that easily became the most influential culture in the world has ever seen, but mainly because it's something that we created and that we was able to kind of forge new paths of prosperity, not just for the artists, but like, shit, you know how many people we made rich? Bro, millionaires, billionaires, set their family up for life, whether we got a piece of it or not. It was all off our backs. And it's undeniable. They said it was a fad, but you can't even turn on a damn Fab commercial for this detergent without being trapped. We're the creators of everything, bro. And the fact that this art form, this culture, this way of life, this content of character that hip hop, authentic hip hop heads really are able to glean from. Shit, man, that helped build who I am today. You know, I worked in the school in Northern Virginia all white school. I was the only black man in there that wasn't pushing the broom. And mind you, there was only 3 black people that worked in that school total. I was one of them as a teacher. And so when I'm talking to these parents, they already got, and I'm still in my polo boots, my fucking, polo, rugbies and t-shirts, sweatshirts, my North Faces, Gore-Tex. Still, I'm talking to them, but I'm still dropping 4-syllable words on them for maximum efficacy when they need to realize.
Come on now, efficacy.
I'm not one of these dumb niggas out here in the street that just lucked up and got a job. Nah, I'm qualified. I done taught for 5 years before I even got into school. You understand what I'm saying? I've written lesson plans, IEPs. I've done all of these things.
Listen, we are the same. I'm listening to. Okay, so you're an educator, obviously. Shout out to the moms who influence their children directly and indirectly. Shout out to them. I'm listening to you, right? And you said something that I want to pause at, give you why I love hip hop, let you tell the people where to find you, and then we're going to be out.
All right.
You said it's ours and we have ownership. I love hip hop because it came to me at a time when the world was a very scary place, and it gave me a voice to a frightened, undersized, bullied kid who was always alone because I was the only child for a little bit, but me and my brother couldn't really start hanging tough until he got older. So I was always the only child. Now, mind you, I'm going through all of this in the street. I'm getting bullied. I'm fighting 3, 4, 5 kids at a time on a weekly basis, sometimes twice, 3 times a week. My mom only knows a little bit. My dad doesn't know it all because he's out of the house. My parents got separated. So the world is a scary place to me. Foosh Niggas pops up. I'm like, yo, how do you rap? Like, only rap what you know about. I had some duplex cookies. Remember the 24 pack or however many?
Hell yeah.
I had it in my lap. And I'm like, rap about cookies? So I'm messing with it. So 12, I start trying to rhyme words. The violence in my life intensifies. So 13, 14 is where it really hits its peak. But the voice of wanting to express myself lyrically was there. By the time I got kicked out of school for that happened to me and MJ, I was good at what I did. And I no longer had to lean on violence to be part of my voice. Now it could just be my voice because I'm in a new school. I don't have to be identified with the troubles of my past, so that made me want to hit the play. But hip hop is who. So now I'm the rap dude.
Your picture froze.
Froze now.
Your figure is still froze.
Still.
All right, that changed.
Nope.
Oh, if it moved, but it's still for. Okay, there you go. All right.
Okay. So saying that to say, in short, hip hop gave voice to a kid who didn't even feel seen. And it wasn't until I started rapping that people really started to see me. The first time I wrote a rap, memorized it, and rapped it in a playground, and had people being like, okay.
It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling, baby.
And then after that, so mind you, Scenario is out.
Right, okay.
Every time the Busta Rhymes part came, nobody else rapped it, just me. That's where I was at.
Yeah.
Hip hop gave me a voice.
Yeah.
And that voice continued to grow. And then once I learned how to use my voice in different spaces with different demographics, with different socioeconomic groups, my voice just became my vehicle.
Right.
And now we're here.
Yeah.
Where my voice attracts other voices.
Right.
I'm attracted to other voices that I know are like mine. And then here you are. And I'm like, I love this conversation.
Yeah.
And I thank you that you came here and allowed our voices to become like a unified thing.
That's fact, man. Listen,
so
man,
much,
I'm all about building. I'm all about building, man. Building good relationships. You know, just building energy, man. It's positive energy going in the right direction for a common cause, man. That's what I'm all about, man. You know what I'm saying? I can have this conversation all day long about whatever topic that's to deal with hip hop that I have. If I can speak intelligently from it, I'll converse on it. That's not an issue for me.
Exactly.
And, you know what I'm saying?
Find you. Where are you? Where do you want people to find you at? What do you do? Tell them all the things that should go at this part of the broadcast.
All right, so right now, just find my name right there on the screen. Sabe James is all one word. At Sabe James. Just Instagram really for right now. Facebook too. Check Sabe James on my YouTube station too. That's why I have my top 50 countdown. I actually do a TV show. I do a talk show, like a late night talk show style thing on my Arsenio Hall shit and everything.
That's good production value right there, big dog.
Yeah, and I edit that shit on myself, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a 2-man team. My wife, she helps me write some of the stuff on there too, but it's really a real small unit on how we doing it. But the content on there is great. We you know, it's comedy, you know, current events, and you know, we talk about, you know, conversations that need to be had for the most part. So all that show it's in Westchester County. It's in the Bronx on Bronx ArtsNet. It's in Brooklyn on Brooklyn Free Speech. I don't know if they need new episodes or whatever like that. And it's in Manhattan on Manhattan Neighborhood Network as well. So my shows are airing regularly out there. They may be old by now, but I'm still working on season 2 and everything. But so doing that, you check me out on there. And that's really all, man. Just trying to build this brand, trying to build this talk show. Shout out to my co-host Samantha Hay. Again, shout out to my wife, shout out to my boy Mike for the cameras, shout out to my guy Seven for having me on this platform, shout out to my guys, my man Keith. He would love to be in a conversation like this because he checks me in at the door all the time about my hip hop conversations and takes on things and everything like that. So he's grits and gravy. He don't listen to nothing outside of New York, bro. Like his favorite lyricist right now is Lloyd Banks. You know what I'm saying? So this is where he at with it. Yeah, I don't know why your face changes that good or bad, but
not Lazy Lloyd.
Yo, that's his yo. This guy will go full on Hulk Luke Cage, bust out of his damn t-shirt. You talk greasy about his boy Lloyd Banks.
I'm so glad you mentioned that at this point where we already on our way out. All right, listen.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Talking.
We're gonna set this back up. We're gonna do this again. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank y'all for watching, for all who tuned in, for all on the rewatch. I'm definitely listening. There's so much that came out of this. I can't wait till this hits places. Listen to me.
You was rolling. No, you was rolling.
You know why, man.
I apologize for stopping you. You was wrong, but we had to make sure that was clear.
No, right? I'm cool with that because I need to be held accountable too. But in that moment, I'm so mindful sometimes that I just like, yo, I'm not gonna say nothing that nobody could. And then I got, you know what I'm saying?
You got caught up. It happens. It happens.
Yeah. I mean, but you know what I'm saying? But Michael Jordan never went to a game 7, so I ain't worried about it.
See, you know how to close out. You know how to close. You know how to close the deal.
Hey, yo, this is Pen Game 7. I don't know what they call this, but we out.